Okay, it looks like it is going from that end. I'll watch on Facebook here and see if it starts at the camp page. And
Boom.
dude, it's up there.
Yeah.
Rock on. We are going.
Yeah, we are.
Solid, solid. Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for jumping on here today.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Tyler Mulvaney. I'm the executive director here at Oil Belt Camp. This is my good friend, Dustin Leek. He is the Encounter One Dean for summer camp this year. He's done it the last 2 years. This will be Dustin's third year as Dean. And we're going to talk a little bit of camp today, talk a little bit of church, talk a little bit of coronavirus. We're going to try to hit everything and just hang out. So, Dustin, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, what you're doing now, and what's new in the world.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, like you said, my name's Dustin Leek. I'm the pastor of the First Christian Church in West Salem, Illinois. I've been here for going on 4 years now. I've been involved in camp for a number of years. Enjoy it. Love camp. Looking forward to this summer. So I got 3 wonderful kids at home, beautiful wife, and life's going great.
Awesome, man. That is awesome. So, what has your church been doing for meeting the last few weeks? Have you guys done online, or what's been your forms of gathering?
Yeah, of course, we've suspended all in-person services, gone completely online, which was a change for all of us. But everybody seems to be adapting pretty well. We do our Sunday morning services. And then on Wednesdays, we post kid stuff for kids to watch, interact with, and dance to videos, and a couple devotion videos throughout the week. So we're trying to stay as connected as possible. To the ones who don't have internet access, we mail out DVDs and stuff to them. So
that's cool.
Yeah, trying to stay as connected as possible in this interesting time.
That is good. Well, I will say I heard a lot of people say it over the last few weeks, but you were the first one that I heard it from. Was that in one fell swoop, all of our churches became ministers became televangelists.
Yeah,
I'm giving you the credit from my end on who came up with the televangelist minister.
I appreciate that.
That was awesome. Okay, so I want to jump in. I got a couple questions for you about camp and about things happening this year. So you've been part of Oil Belt for a while. So tell me your Oil Belt story. When did you first come here, and what have you done since then?
All right. I actually didn't go to Oil Belt growing up. First time I came was faculty, probably about 10 years ago. Junior high camp. Started as faculty and been coming back every year. So it's been fun. The first year was eye opening. Just to see how many kids came to camp there, and how much you guys offered them, and it was awesome. Awesome to see a lot of baptism, a lot of kids accepted Christ, and ever since then I've been hooked. Haven't missed a year, I don't think.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That is awesome. So what's a good memory from some of those first early weeks?
Oh, let's see. One of those early weeks, I came back. I forgot what we were doing. I think we were swimming. Came back for nap time. Couldn't find my bed. My mattress was gone.
No,
I found it. It was out in the grass by the 9 square court. The kids really thought they got me, but I just laid down there and took a nap. So
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. Well, jumping on here. Logan West says hey. Dustin Dreyer says hey. My beautiful wife says hey. And then a lot of other people are joining, hanging out with us today. So Dustin Leek, he's the Encounter One Dean for this summer, minister at First Christian Church in West Salem. And Dustin, tell us about Encounter One this year. What are we going to experience this summer at Encounter One?
Well, hopefully we experience some good stuff. Hopefully I get a haircut by then. I just noticed that I got some corona hair going on here. Nobody cut my hair. But no, we're going to have a great time. This is my 3rd year being dean of this camp, and I think I might have it figured out by now. I don't know. But we're going to be, the theme for camp this summer is leave it at the gate. And we're going to kind of jet off that, and we're going to look at choosing or moving in the right direction. We know that there's two paths you take, the narrow, the wide, and we're going to be looking at it through the life of Peter. And we're going to follow Peter, follow his story. And sometimes he was on that narrow path, and other times he veered from the right path. And that's kind of what we're going to look at. We're going to look at how, we make it sound really easy. We talk about the narrow gate and the wide gate, that once you're on that path, you're there. But sometimes we stray. And how do we move back in the right direction to get back on the right path? So we're going to try to connect that to the kids' lives and talk about some of the things they're going to experience as they grow up in faith, and how it's not always perfect and easy, but how to keep going in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some fun things planned. Got some good people coming for faculty.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm excited.
That's awesome, man. Pumped about it. Encounter 1 is a 5th and 6th grade camp. The date for it this year is June 14th through the 19th.
Yep.
So, like I said, right now we are planning on still having camp. See what comes at the end of the month. Our board is meeting at the end of the month to decide. Once, hopefully, at that point, we'll know what these shelter-in-place orders are saying and what comes from there. Hey, Cammie says hi to you, man. She says,
"Oh,
Dustin." So, what is up, Cammie? I'm fired up about your camp this summer. You've had some interesting Dean experience. So real quick, just tell us a couple of those experiences you've had the last few years as Dean. What got thrown in your weeks?
Well, my first year, I felt like Noah. It rained a lot. We woke up one morning, the chapel was flooded. Everything was flooded. You couldn't get to one building to the next without water. So that was the first year we managed. Thank goodness we had the ark. We went up there and spent a lot of time up there, but we had a lot of flooding, a lot of wet Bibles because they left them on the floor in the chapel. But we got through it. The second year, I'm trying to remember what happened. The second year, was that the sewage pump year?
Second year, well, actually, the first year was sewage pump and flood.
Okay.
Yeah, you had both. And then last year was
the sewage pump. The sewage pump was, let's see, about 2:00 in the morning. My dorm mom, Kathy, calls me. So there's an alarm going off over here. So I call Tyler, who comes over, and poop pump's gone out. So that was a good time.
It was fantastic. Fantastic. Now, last year was a big storm, wasn't it? Then we have a big storm, like lightning hit and took out a bunch or something.
Yeah. We had some lightning, had some storms last year. It was a lot better year than the first year, but there was still some struggles there, but it all worked out.
Yeah,
it all worked out.
Definitely.
We can always adapt and change. It's all right.
Exactly. It was good. So real quick, why do kids need to come to camp this summer? What are the reasons you love camp? I mean, you give at least a week of your summer every year to camp for the last 10 years. Why is it such a big impact for kids to come to camp?
Oh man, camp is I've seen so many different things. Just aside from the spiritual aspect of it, so many friendships are made at camp.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting too, as I watch at the beginning of the week when kids come, they're real shy. They kind of stick with a couple kids they know, but then by the end of the week, they forgot all about the kids they came with. Yeah. And they've made friends with kids they never thought they would.
Yeah.
And that's cool to see, that last day of camp, there's people exchanging, when I was younger, you were exchanging home phone numbers or MSN Messenger names. And now they're exchanging things I don't even know what they are. TikTok names and Snapchat handles, and I have no idea.
I don't.
But they all leave with this huge list. And they stay in contact. As I see it from 5th grade to 6th grade year, when they get to camp, they look up those old friends. So I think friendship's a huge part of why kids should come to camp. Another aspect is you get a lot of Bible at camp. Teaching to that age level too. We spend a lot of time, I know, at Encounter 1 in the Bible. You have your Bible at Vespers time. You have your Bibles at class time. And I think it just helps kids get a better understanding of what the Bible is, and some of the classes we teach kind of go into that. And then so many lives I've seen changed at camp. So many stories I've heard. So many times I've been brokenhearted because of what kids have gone through, and they just need to know somebody loves them.
Yeah.
And that's why the faculty at camp does a good job of, they just love kids. They love on them no matter what your situation is, no matter what your past is. And kids come there, they share, they feel better. We get them the help that they need if they need it. But more importantly, we have tons of baptisms every year, and kids just come into Christ, and as they continue through camp, they continue to build on that. And I think that's another thing important about camp is we don't leave them after they're done. We'd be sure they're plugged into a local church. We'd be sure that they come back to camp and continue to build in their faith. So I just love camp and what it does for all around, not just spiritual reasons, but just, having fun, getting away from your parents for a week, getting some great food. Camp, if you've never been to camp food is awesome.
Legit.
So just come for the food, if nothing else.
Exactly. One thing you said there that I thought rang true, that kind of sparked something, is I remember when I was a kid, but then also faculty, dean, and all that. And being that you've done 10 years of it, this year especially, I think, is going to be one of those years that people are kicking around. Do we come to camp or not? And one of the things I heard somebody tell me once was, you'll never regret going to a week of camp, but you'll definitely regret missing it. And I think that's true. That in my life, where there's been weeks or a camp that maybe it was even a short one that I was like, I have other things that I could definitely be doing right now. But when I went to that week of camp, I didn't regret going when it was over. I was so glad that I was there, and it definitely had a big change. So I think that's something that's going to ring true this summer.
Yeah, I see that every year. Kids at first don't want to come to camp, but then by the end of the week, they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
And I've seen kids come, their parents come to get them for practice or a game or, doctor's appointment or something. Kids like, I'm not leaving. I want to be at camp. And so, yeah, but with this year, with all the stuff going on, everybody's like, well, do I send my kid? Do I not send my kid? And we don't know still what's to come of all this stuff. Just from weeks I've been at camp, from being involved, and we've been through some, besides the weather, we've been through some other things, other weeks of camp I've served at. I can assure parents that camp is going to do everything they can to take care of their kid.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be sure it's as safe as possible. You'll follow anything you need to follow. And so, just trying to reassure, we're not going to have camp unless it's safe.
Yep.
Unless we have everything in place. So if it comes to that, you're thinking, do I send my kid? Do I not send my kid? The faculty is going to be there. And camp's going to take the necessary steps to be sure that your child is safe. So send them. By then you're going to be sick of them. so send them to camp.
Exactly. We've, like you said, we've already began taking steps, and we'll roll that out 1st of May. Whenever we know what camp will look like, we'll be releasing what some of those methods and things we're going to change, just to make camp safer, to do some specialty things in this time. Hey, last question I want to ask you, and then we'll wrap this up. Give us something that has been encouraging to you the last few weeks. What's been your mindset that honestly gets you back positive again? This has been for a lot of people a range of emotions, roller coaster with anxiety, anger, fear. How have you dealt with it? What's given you encouragement? Maybe that will resonate with some people watching.
Yeah. When this first all started coming down the pipe, that we were going to have to shelter in place, that our services were going to look different. Like everybody else, I was a little nervous about what was to come, how we were going to handle this as a church, because our church has met in the same building since like 1912. We're used to meeting together. We're used to coming to church, and that's kind of our weekly time of, that's a constant in our life. And it has been, my whole life. Church has been that constant. And it's like, well, now what? Our lives are being shaken up. But I think the encouragement that I found is people realizing probably more than ever in our lifetime is that church can continue outside the walls. We read about it all throughout the book of Acts, all throughout the Bible, that the church is not the building, but now we're having to put that into practice. And I've seen more people helping their neighbor, more people reaching out, more people giving of their time, their talents, even their finances to help someone in need. Communication has had to be, you've actually had to want to communicate with somebody. You actually have to reach out and to them. And I've seen a lot of that. And I think it's been good. I'm anxious to see how the church comes back from this, what it looks like afterwards. Because I think we're going to come back powerful, I think. More powerful than we were, more on fire than we were. So I think it's encouragement for me is just to see people being the hands and feet of Jesus. We've talked about it for so long, but when the rubber meets the road, it's good to see people living that out. And that's been encouraging to me as a pastor, encouraging to me as a follower of Christ, is that, hey, we can survive these trials. And as the book of James teaches us, God uses these trials in our life, and if we endure, we keep our faith in Him, it leads us to maturity in our faith. And that's what I pray for everybody during this time, that they hold on to their faith, follow God, and He'll produce something good out of it. So that's been encouraging to me, just seeing people live out their faith, and be able to find the peace they need in Christ during this difficult time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see we've been praying for revival in our country in a long time, and this is definitely something that shook it up, that I believe people are looking for answers. What's truth right now? Because it's really hard to find. And I think there's more to this life. It's gonna shine through at the time. So, Dustin, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to
no problem, man.
Encounter, hanging out with you for a few weeks. I hope you have a blessed day. Good luck at West Salem, and if you ever have anything that we can help you with at camp, give me a shout.
Will do. Thanks, Tyler.
All right. See you, Dustin. Thanks, bro.
Bye.